Distance learning.
All right, hey, welcome. So we'll see how this actually works. My plan, generally speaking, is to get you this stuff Monday morning, something like that. And then you will be able to go through it, look at the content, download the files. There will be quizzes and things, I don't know what, and you'll have a chance to do all of those. There is also on this one a demo that is not something you're going to turn in as an exercise, because I expect that most of your time this week will be spent working on the midterm review. So let's go ahead and open up our magical website, go down to week 8. That noise you hear in the background is a cat trying to get into a plastic bag. What will happen? It's exciting. The realness. Cat, get out of the plastic bag. Jesus. All right, here we are, week 8, 324. Things that are due, assignment 6, exciting. There was a handout on masking with a pen tool, which of course you all read. Good job. And then we're going to have a quiz on pixel masking and a non-Wacom pen quiz. Because we can't have a Wacom pen quiz because we don't have tablets. Cat, cut it out. All right, so we can't have a Wacom pen quiz. We do have a regular pen quiz, which is good because that is going to be something and we do not have a Wacom pen quiz. We do have a non-Wacom pen quiz because obviously we do not have access to tablets. And we have a quiz on pixel masking because you know how I like quizzes. We're not going to do any scanning, if you see that down here, because obviously we don't have access to scanners. Don't miss much. And we'll do some more compositing stuff, which will help you a lot for project 2. So we'll walk through that. You won't have to turn that part in, but I do think it's going to be really helpful, so pay attention. Then we'll go into the midterm review. There is a Hangout spot on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. If you go over here to Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, there's a midterm review Hangout session. You are welcome to hang out in it as long as you want. And talk to folks about what's going on with the midterm, pick each other's brains about it, get additional info. I will walk through the assignment because I feel like that's a good idea. You should, if you want to learn things, try to do it yourself, and then you can walk through it with me. If you just walk through it with me, you won't learn anything, and that is screwing up the whole point. So back over here, let's go ahead and download our files. Again, midterm review. Assignment 7, by the way, people get confused on this. Assignment 7 is the midterm review. You do need to turn it in. And also remember, there are a bunch of handouts that are on there that you can look at that hopefully will be helpful. Pardon me. All right, so let's go ahead and download those files in our shared Google Drive folder, sample files and miscellaneous. There they are, right down there, sample files, distance learning. I designated that distance learning just so that it's a little bit easier in case you don't remember what week is what, because frankly, at this point, who does? In there, there's a whole bunch of stuff downloaded ahead of time, obviously. Midterm review files, quiz number 7, woohoo! Composite Bs, which will make more sense later, sample finished one, and the midterm review assignment description. That's also obviously in the assignment descriptions folder. And then lastly, pen quiz number 3. So if you want to go ahead and download the quiz and the pen quiz, you should download all of this stuff. But if we're pretending we're in real time. Download those first. All right, downloading. All right, cool. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and look at these guys. Here is the pen quiz. What are you going to do? You're going to make a new document in Photoshop, 1024 by 768 pixels, not inches, pixels. Using a 100 pixel brush and black paint, draw the lines above. There are only two because we can't fade in and out. So a hard-edged one that does not have bumpy turd-looking things, and a soft-edged one. Save it as last name, first name, penquiz03. Pause this while you go do that, and then I'll be back. Ooh, okay, we'll pretend that worked. All right, so how do we do that? Open up Photoshop. All right, I'm going to make a new document. Again, I did that. File new. Since I know kind of what I'm going to be calling it, penquiz03. Remember, I asked for a specific size, 1024 by 768 pixels. Resolution, all that stuff seems good. Now I'm going to get a brush. The brush tool, it's right there. That's also B on the keyboard. I'm going to make my brush 100 pixels. All right. Again, I got to that up here by clicking on that guy, size 100. Start out with a hardness of 0. I'm going to go across here and look. My opacity is at 100. My flow is at 6. That is not good. Set my flow to 100. All right, and they were triangles, so make sure I have black paint. There we are. We can get that again if I hit D for default. That'll give me black paint. I hit X and swap back and forth. Okay, there we go. There's a nice triangle with a soft edge. I know, I think the hard edge one was there. It doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to take that same exact brush setting and take the hardness up to 100. And then just make my triangle with that hard edge. You'll notice it doesn't have any sort of turd bumpy things. We can check those up here, or you can hit F5 on the keyboard. They are down here, spacing. If I turn spacing up, I get those terrible turd bumps. If I turn spacing down to a low number, they go away. You won't notice them as much with a soft brush, but with a hard brush, they are definitely noticeable. So zoop, 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 and we're done. So save that however I told you to save it, put it in the pen quiz box, and you are good. Close that out. I'm not going to save it because I don't need a good grade in this class. Okay, next, masking quiz. Let's go to that quiz folder, PH172 quiz 07. Let's just take a quick look at the finished product first. Here we go. It's a film box floating in space over the Earth. That's awesome. To get to that, let's come down here to masking quiz paths. Open that up. Okay, and we are going to cut out this box using a path. So remember to make a path. Well, first, go ahead and do it. We'll pretend that I'm not here. Pause, if you will. Ooh, I'm not going to duck out of frame. That seems silly. Okay, so you presumably have now done it. Welcome back. And now I'll walk through it. So we want to go through and use the pen tool to make a path around this box. Pretty straightforward. We get the pen tool either by hitting P, or we can come over here and click on this little pen right there. Boop. Zoom in a little bit. Zooming in, always helpful. And then we want to draw a path around this box. All right, you don't need to be completely and totally precise. It is basically just a series of straight lines. You should know for the midterm how to make a curved line the way that we did with the mailbox and the brass thing. There, there, boop. Remember to get a curved line instead of just clicking, which gives you a straight line. I click and drag. These are all pretty straight though. Cool. That last click, right, came in there. You'll notice that my cursor changes to a circle telling me that I am closing my path. And now it is a closed path. So to get to that, come over here to Paths right here. If you don't see the Paths palette, you can always get to it under Window Paths. It is a work path because we have not renamed it. That means if I go and start drawing something else, this will be lost, which is not good. Double click on that work path and call it something rational. Film box outline, why not? And now I have this path right here. When I have that selected, I can see that line there. If I do not have that selected, it disappears. The path is not something that will print or show up in any other real way. So have that selected, I can see it right there. I'm going to come down here to these little dotted lines, click those, and that's going to use my path to make a selection. That is the whole reason that we made the path, is to be able to get a selection. So that's awesome. Click that, boom. There it is. Looks great. Once we have selection, if I have an active selection and I add a layer mask, it will take that active selection and use it to make my mask. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Make sure that I have film box, the layer highlighted up here, not the background, but the film box. Come down here to the Japanese flag, click it, and it will take that selection and use it to mask off the box. Now, if I thought that was too hard edged, I can always go up to Select, Modify. I can contract it, right? Make it a little bit smaller if I want. Sure, 4, why not? I can also feather it, modify again, feather. This is going to make it a little bit fuzzier around the edges. Right, and I'm doing this with the selection active, not doing this with the path clicked or anything like that. I just have that active selection that I made from a path. Come back, Japanese flag, boom. That looks pretty good. I'm going to rename that background layer. This is renamed, those renamed, and that seems pretty reasonable. I don't know if there are any other requirements for the quiz. I'm not looking at the piece of paper that has quiz instructions on it. Maybe there isn't one, but I have a suspicion that there is. So if there's anything else you're supposed to do, like color spaces or whatever, do that. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and hit save. Make sure that you are keeping your layers there, and you are good to go. Cool. Those are the quizzes. If you want to pause, and I'm going to go on to some more exciting compositing tips before we get into the midterm review.